Indiana lawmakers will once again consider a bill to legalize marijuana in the Hoosier state. WRTV State House reporter Meredith Hackler tells us why some lawmakers think the vote could be different this time.
The debate surrounding marijuana back at the State House. Several lawmakers have sponsored bills to legalize it in different ways.
Emily Longnecker joins us tonight to talk about one of those bills that brought lawmakers and advocates for legalization together at the State House.
Roughly 7 out of 10 Hoosiers support legalizing marijuana. Indiana Republicans are still split on the issue.
Virginia Democrats are moving forward with efforts to set up a retail market for the sale of recreational marijuana. Now, Governor Glenn Youngkin has already implied that he won't sign that into law.
What is called an expedited comment period opened today for recreational marijuana in Minnesota. But how close are we to actually seeing cannabis businesses open up? As Jason Rantala found out, the timing is still cloudy.
So as you guys can see, there's a lot of politics when it comes to whether this will actually be legal in many states and especially legal at the federal level. So there are a lot of things that need to come into play when this is a consideration for some people. Now let's start off in Indiana, where it's currently prohibited recreationally, but medical use is permitted in limited circumstances.
State House reporter Meredith Hackler tells us why some lawmakers think the vote could be different this time.
7 out of 10 Hoosiers support safe and regulated marijuana. That's according to a survey that was done late last year. Now, lawmakers in the House are hopeful with a new administration in office, legal marijuana might become a reality.
I've received over 400 emails in the last couple weeks on this issue, and that's a huge number of emails for any one issue.
That's why Representative Heath Van Natter has filed House Bill 1630. The bill isn't available on the state website yet, but Van Natter says it would legalize recreational marijuana in the state for people 21 and over.
By moving to an adult use regulated market, Indiana will be able to regulate nearly the entire existing market out of the gate to directly benefit our law enforcement and our taxpayers.
I replaced 11 medications with cannabis, CBD, CBN, these different cannabinoids.
Keith Johnson is a Navy veteran. After he got out of the military, Johnson was in a bad car crash. That led to him taking opioids. He says marijuana changed his life.
Got back into working life again. I was expected to, not even survive past 50. I'm 57 now. And I got back into working life. I was so blown away by it.
The legislation could face an uphill battle, as not all Republican leadership is on board. Governor Mike Braun said there needs to be more conversations when it comes to legalizing it recreationally. Here's what he said when asked about the bill.
When it comes to medical marijuana, I'm clear on record that I'm going to be amenable to hearing the case for it. So I'll guess that will be a high-profile bill. Whether it gets a hearing or not, we'll see.
As for veterans like Johnson, he just hopes lawmakers listen to their constituents.
Give it a shot, If it's a terrible thing, you can outlaw a year or two later, right? But it won't be a terrible thing.
That's a really great point. A lot of places that have actually legalized have not looked back, and the amount of profits and benefits that they have seen from it are off the chain. Now, it's really telling to hear that veteran say that he replaced 11 medications with cannabis. Now, that in itself is absolutely remarkable. But as you guys seen right there, Governor Mike Braun said that he is open to hearing the arguments for legalization, especially when it comes to medical, but that does not mean that it's going to pass. He said he expects some form of bill, and that'll include a lot of regulation. But let's hear what else critics have to say about this bill.
The debate surrounding marijuana back at the State House. Several lawmakers have sponsored bills to legalize it in different ways.
Emily Longnecker joins us tonight to talk about one of those bills that brought lawmakers and advocates for legalization together at the State House. Emily?
The bill is House Bill 1630, and it would essentially legalize and regulate marijuana for anyone 21 years or older who wanted to use it, much the same way the state does for alcohol. The push to legalize cannabis has been an ongoing one at the State House. So far this year, lawmakers in both the House and Senate have filed several bills dealing with cannabis. Some lawmakers, like Republican Representative Heath Van Natter, the author of 1630, want to make it legal with stipulations. Others have bills to only legalize cannabis for medicinal purposes.
By capturing the existing market in its entirety out of the gate, we ensure that law enforcement and Hoosiers, not criminals, benefit from this reform.
Newly elected Governor Mike Braun weighed in on the ongoing debate.
When it comes to recreational, I've been clear that has a need for further discussion. We see in some states they have not been happy with the results of it. When it comes to medical marijuana, I'm clear on record that I'm going to be amenable to hearing the case for it.
Right now, there are at least 3 bills that deal with legalizing cannabis for medicinal purposes. You know, this has been an ongoing conversation in many past legislative sessions, and it looks like it is a conversation continuing in this one. At the State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
All right, Ethan, thank you. Roughly 7 out of 10 Hoosiers support legalizing marijuana, according to a new survey from the Safe and Regulated Indiana Coalition. But as Fox 59 State House reporter Hannah Adamson explains, Indiana Republicans are still split on the issue.
Wednesday, a Republican-led coalition introduced a bill that would allow Hoosiers over the age of 21 to legally use marijuana. A bill that no doubt faces an uncertain future in both the House and the Senate.
It's time for Indiana to join our neighbors and most of the rest of the country in legalizing marijuana.
If State Representative Heath Van Natter's bill passes this session, Indiana would become the first state in the country to bypass a medical marijuana program and go straight to a regulated adult use cannabis market.
This unique approach of moving directly to a regulated adult use market allows us to engage law enforcement early in the policymaking process to address issues comprehensively, pragmatically, rather than piecemeal.
I think that if we had an up or down vote on the floor today, on the House, I think it makes it through.
State Representative Jake Teshka says he and other colleagues will continue to work with House Speaker Todd Houston, who has expressed hesitancy to support such a bill.
Just because something's hard has never deterred us, right? So, Hoosiers are reaching out, they're asking for this.
But even if the bill passes out of the House, it would likely face an even tougher battle in the Senate.
I don't think we should take this step.
State Senator Liz Brown says she's open to decriminalizing minor marijuana offenses, but argues Van Natter's bill is a step too far for now.
The FDA comes up with a formula that's safe, that we can all certify. That's a different issue, but they haven't done that yet, and we haven't seen that.
And as for whether or not Governor Braun would sign such a bill into law,
when it comes to recreational, I've been clear that has a need for further discussion.
At this time, it's unclear if or when the bill could receive a first reading.
So we'll have to see where that goes and how things actually unfold over in Indiana. It's crazy to think that they'll be the first state to actually legalize recreational before having a medical program in place. And I get what they're saying. A lot of places actually go medical first and then they go recreational later. So instead of having to go medical first, then recreational later, why not just go recreational right now? But let me know what you guys think about that whole issue. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Where do you lie on that topic? Drop it in the comments down below. I'm interested to find out what you guys got to say. And just a quick reminder, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Those things really help out a lot. And if you want to support us further, grab some merch or hit the link in the description below and join the ICANN VIP Bean Club. Now let's head over to Virginia because it looks like there's a bill that may be pushed through there that'll actually create a retail market. Let's check that out.
Virginia Democrats are moving forward with efforts to set up a retail market for the sale of recreational marijuana. Now, Governor Glenn Youngkin has already implied that he won't sign that into law. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander has the story.
A bill approved today by a Senate committee would allow up to 350 retail stores to open their doors starting on May 1st of next year. However, with Governor Glenn Youngkin in opposition, that seems like nothing more than wishful thinking. The retail sale of recreational marijuana could be closer to becoming a reality in Virginia. Today, along party lines, Senate Democrats advancing a proposal to set up a retail market starting on May 1st, 2026. Senator Aaron Rouse, who wrote the bill, says the legislation is to combat an illegal market that's selling dangerous, untested products to Virginians.
What this would attempt to do is set up an adult retail market so we can ensure that these products don't fall in the hands of children by having safely tested products, making sure that they're accurately labeled.
Rouse adds that a retail market would bring in about $3 billion in tax revenue that can be used to invest in key areas.
Such as continue to expand I-81, right? Higher learning support as well, making sure that our schools have the resources they need to build 21st century schools and beyond.
However, in his State of the Commonwealth address earlier this week, Governor Glenn Youngkin implied that he wouldn't sign any bill into law that creates a retail market for recreational marijuana.
States with retail markets have seen significant negative impacts on children and adolescent health and safety, increased gang activity and violent crime, significant deterioration in mental health, decreased road safety.
Rouse's bill will need to be considered by the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee before potentially heading to the Senate floor.
Now, I don't know where you guys actually lay on that issue, and I don't know where you guys lay in terms of Republican, Democrat, but personally, I just like common sense solutions. And for me, the benefits, the profits, all the things that come with legalizing the herb, it seems to me to be a no-brainer. Now, Governor Youngkin did cite a lot of negatives that he associated with recreational herbs and the recreational market, but respectfully, I do not agree with that, and I think that a lot of those issues can be dealt with through implementing simple policies that actually help things like mental health, and also dialing back some of the policies that embolden criminals and allow criminals to act and be put back out on the streets right after they're apprehended. So let me know what you guys think about that. But sticking on the topic of recreational businesses, over in Minnesota, CBS is breaking down who can open recreational businesses. So let's have a look at that.
Nearly 2 years since legal cannabis passed the Minnesota legislature, a public comment period opened Monday. That's a far cry from the original goal, getting the recreational market up and running this month.
I can't imagine that they'll be able to issue licenses before the end of the year.
Now, Mark Curran, a Minnesota state senator and former co-chair of the Medicinal Cannabis Task Force, says he believes the marketplace won't even be ready by the end of this year. Curran says that's due to a judge's ruling that halted the cannabis lottery following several lawsuits.
Now they have to complete the rulemaking process, which they're in. They won't likely complete that for the next 4 or 5, maybe 6 months.
But Minnesota Attorney Carol Moss is more optimistic.
We are on the path to have dispensaries open later this year.
Moss specializes in cannabis law and serves on the governor's Cannabis Advisory Council. She says while there have been roadblocks, the path for small businesses to receive licenses once the laws are drawn up is still running smoothly. It's large businesses, the ones tied up in the lawsuits, that may see some hiccups.
Those micro businesses can start getting seeds in the ground in a couple of months, and we can start seeing stores within the end of the year.
Last month, the Office of Cannabis Management acknowledged the hurdles.
This is going to be a slower rollout,
but said the first cannabis businesses could just be months away from sprouting up.
But I do think that this is a situation that can be very beneficial to our industry in the long run.
Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
So as you guys can see, there are states that recognize the benefits and are trying to get things set up, but there are states that still have a little bit of worry and a little bit of fear out there as to going fully recreational. And of course, there's a lot of politics involved, a lot of back and forth, a lot of lawsuits, Supreme Court decisions, and tons of policy decisions that can affect how everything unfolds. So let me know what you think about that. And if you're in a legal state, drop it down below and let me know what sort of laws you guys got. And if you're not, let me know if you guys think that that will change in the future, because it does seem that there's a greater acceptance when it comes to the benefits of the herb, but there definitely still is some resistance too. And under this new administration with Donald Trump, we gotta wait to see where things will unfold. But we actually got a whole video breaking down where we think that'll go, so check that out because it's coming up right now.